Hello, everyone. Let's see who will join us now. Yay.
Hey,
Hello, hello. And let me invite Nelly. And good morning, good evening, good day, everyone. Thank you for joining. Oh, so nice to see people coming in. I'm so excited. This is our first ever Sophia Live. And where's everyone joining from? If you just type in your cities, it'll be cool to see where everyone is. And hello, hello. So good to see everyone. And Marcia, welcome. We
thank you
have
so
Marcia
much.
McLeod today, all the way from London.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. This is a really new way to interact, isn't it, Marcia? I mean, you and I talk all the time, but now we're talking with a large group of people listening in.
Yes, amazing.
uh, we miss you all also. Miss you all. Thank you for the hearts and the love. Yes, thank you. So, Marcia, how has it been in London?
Oh, London will always have my heart. And of course, I'm here with my children. It's always very difficult because I will be leaving at the end of the week.
Oh,
But yeah, it's just been everything, really. It's been everything.
you look great.
Thank you. I feel good. I
Oh,
feel good.
lovely. So, so wonderful. Before we jump into, what Marcia is all about, I'd like to just share a little bit about the Sophia Collective since this is the first time we have a Sophia Live. And the Sophia Collective is really a space to help women through transitions in their life. It's a space that is hopefully to be safe, comfortable, uplifting, joyful, in a space where women can find hardships, difficulties, both in their own self awareness and the self journey, but also find answers and a place where they can grow and then get answers to those difficult questions that they may face. But then, we are a phenomenal group of, a collective of women with different skills and different abilities. And we've all just come together to make this a beautiful journey for each and every one of you that wants to be on that transition in life. Whether you've been a mom your whole life and want to move into something new, whether you want to shift from a corporate life to, entrepreneurship, we got you. So do let us know, and we will keep this moving forward with lots of love. And you can see on our Instagram account all the information about our values and what we stand for. Back to Marcia. So, you and I have known each other for a long time,
Yes.
and we haven't had it always in the best of ways. We've had beautiful moments, but we've also had some challenges that make us a little bit of who we are. And what I love about you and I is we're always just laughing our heart away through it all at some point or another. So tell me a little bit, Marcia, like what makes you who you are today?
Okay, so honestly, this is a topic that is, very dear to my heart. And I will apologize now if I get emotional, but it's, for many, many, many years, I struggled with my self confidence. I struggled with feeling unfulfilled. Um, and I guess to the outside world, everything looked perfect. I ticked all the boxes. I had the children. I lived my life abroad. I was married. I had a good job. But, something was missing. Something was missing from my soul. And, I struggled. I struggled a lot. And I knew I wanted something more. I didn't know what that something was. I didn't know even how to begin to find what that something was. And I guess I've realized along my journey that I'm not alone. You know, there are many, many, many people, men, women, who find themselves in this position. And this is ultimately why I am doing what I do now, because I'm so passionate about it. And I know that people don't have to be stuck. You know, they can find a way. And it's my mission, really, to support those who want to take that journey.
And I'm honestly so eager to jump in to what it is that you are doing because, as you know, and I know, you've had a session with me recently. And to all of you out there, I had two major events in my life. I mean, many, but two major events that have brought me to a level of spirituality or level of self-awareness. And I was sharing with Marcia when she finished with me that this was one of these moments where I didn't really understand what I was walking into. But that reading and information was so telling and explained so much. Yeah, and in what I was going through even at the time, that it's so enriching, and I can only yeah recommend it. I mean, it sounds crazy to say that, but it is. And I've known you for so long, I never knew what exactly you do. That was like the funniest part in all of this. But before we delve into that, I just wanted to share something about who you are, Marcia. And we had a call a couple of days ago to prepare for this and just say, you know, what's the nucleus that you want to get out of this? What's the goal? What do you want to share with the women and men and whoever listens to us? And Marcia says, you know, I just really would love to share about, you know, how, you know, if there's difficulties and challenges, I can be really right there for people. And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, okay, anything else? Like, do you want to talk about your work? Do you want to talk about your children? Do you want to talk about who you are? It was just more about, I want to be there for people. And this is really, truly, ultimately who you really are and who you've been this whole time that we've known each other. And a little bit of kind of why sometimes you end up putting yourself last in that space. But we won't just only talk about how you could be helpful to everyone, because you will, but also we will talk about what you do. And if you could just please tell us a little bit about the whole human design
Okay.
process, a little bit about what it is first, and why did you choose it?
Well, first of all, it chose me, is what I will tell
Okay,
you.
okay.
It chose me. I have been on a self-discovery journey for the best part of, I don't know, 14 years.
Join
And I've done
the
various,
club, join the club.
I've done various different things, and each thing that I've got involved in has helped me, honestly, in some shape or form. Whether that was training, I'm a Reiki practitioner. There's lots of things I did. I studied therapy, all sorts of things. But I think what was poignant when I came across human design was that it was personalized. It was looking at who I am at a core. You know, it was this chart that could tell me and show me why I had struggled for so many years, where my areas of conditioning were, and why, in my particular case, I took on the thoughts and opinions of everybody else. I was a people pleaser. I could see it. And that is not to say that any of that has changed for me, but it's having that awareness now and having the understanding of how I can navigate life. And so I now am unapologetic in showing up as who I am supposed to be, who I'm designed to be. It's much easier for me. I'm definitely still on a journey. I will always be on a journey. I want to make that very clear that I haven't arrived at any particular point and that everything is wonderful and perfect. No, I struggle every single day. But the difference now is that I show up scared, because I know this is part of my process, and I embody the shadows and the gifts that I have. You know, they're part of me, and I celebrate who I am, you know, all aspects of myself. And I think that for me has been why design has spoken to my soul, and why I want others to be able to understand themselves at that deep or level.
Yeah, No, it is. And it is actually, I mean, we ended up having almost a 3 hour session. It's so deep and it's so telling. And there's so much information, both from heart to mind to different organs. And it's, can you talk a little bit about the origins of this process and
Yeah.
where has it evolved from and how long has it been around?
How long it's been around, I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know it's a combination of astrology. So I would definitely need to have someone's very accurate birth information if possible. It's also very much based on the chakra system as well, Chinese I Ching and the Kabbalah system as well. So it's all four things that have kind of merged together to that you generate this body graph chart where you can actually see, where, as I said, your gifts, your shadows are, where you've been open to conditioning. And of course, everyone is unique. So I describe it as a roadmap, a guide to help people to be able to make more aligned decisions, decisions that work for them as individuals. So yeah, I mean, it's a great way to self-actualize, to help you with manifestation. It's just a tool that it's not a one size cookie cutter. It's all, it's unique.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love the way you described it, and the fact that it's based on so much history and so much, particularly Eastern philosophy. I think that we end up, and it's funny when I first heard of it, Marcia. I have to tell you, I actually thought it was more like, within Indian matchmaking when they have them, they get the birth date and then they put this information, and I never understood why that was done. But after I had the reading and I understood the astrology aspect of it and how that all connects to the chakras, and the moment you're born, I was really mesmerized and quite taken back. But and also it's validated. I mean, for me, when I say the Indian matchmaking, for me, it's actually a love of mine. It's something that I've always been passionate about, understanding that form of astrology, and then to get it in a translated, Western way as well. I love when some of that stuff is taken and put into context that sometimes our mind and brain needs to dissect and understood.
Absolutely.
That was really, really powerful. Quite cool. If anyone has questions for Marcia, by the way, who's joined us, please feel free to type them in and we'll try and answer them as we go along here. But Marcia, what led you to this particular step? Like, how did you find it, and how did you make this your life in a way and part of that journey?
I think, honestly, historically, I've always mentored people. Naturally, it's my natural gift. I have a natural ability to. I don't judge people.
To give, you have a natural ability to give.
Yeah, and I feel like I always, in every career that I've done, whether that's been teaching, training, working in the youth justice system, I've always mentored people. Naturally, people are always coming to me for advice, and I love it. It's what I love. It makes my soul sing. So to then have come across human design, I came across it twice. Once about 4 years ago, and it just made no sense to me, and I put it to one side, and then I came back to it. And actually, I'm someone who will try to investigate things myself. So I went down a rabbit hole, and none of it was making sense. And so I actually came across an amazing coach and mentor. Her name's Crystal. And I ended up becoming a certified design leader through her coaching program. And she was amazing. She made everything make sense. And I realized it's such a complex system that, of course, anyone can go online and generate their chart, but you need someone to dissect that information and to break it down in layman's terms, right? So once I had done that, I'd actually created a coaching program 4 years ago, and I've sat on this coaching program. I've done nothing. And I realized what the problem was. Something was missing. There was a part of the jigsaw puzzle that I wanted to help women. I wanted to get to their purpose, but there was a tool I needed, and this was the tool. This was it. It made sense. Now I can show them why they struggle, and now I can help them to get to this point that they want to get to. So that's literally what happened. And when I did my own human design, I understood. So there are 5 main types of aura. And I'm what's known as a generator, and generators respond to the things that come into their life. And so it wasn't a surprise that human design came into my life. I responded to it, and I've further understood more about how I can best help people, how I can best show up in a way that works for me, that's aligned for me, but at the same time helping the collective. And that's literally it. That's what happened.
Yeah. We're often led, aren't we? Like in, whether whichever type you are. And would you actually name the different types?
Okay.
What are the 5 types that you talked about? And then
So you have a generator, which is what I am. Then you have manifesting generators, which are a hybrid. Then you have manifestors, projectors, and
Marcia, we lost you there for a second. Would you repeat the 4th one?
reflectors and projectors.
Very, very cool. Yeah, and then it would be awesome. I mean, is there anything that you'd want to share in the sense of if you've done a reading on anyone and it just caught you by whether it's a surprise or it confirmed something? Because I'm sure you've done them on some family and friends and people that you know, without divulging anyone's information or privacy. But it's just that what has been in for you to even confirm? Because I'm sure as we as coaches and as people we help others in the process, we get confirmation across the board.
My sister-in-law's there.
Uh-huh.
I honestly, it's really helped me as a parent. I've obviously done the human design for my children, and I have understood where I have sometimes not empowered them to be their best selves. I've learned to understand how they have their own unique ways of being, and I can now support them in that. So a prime example of that is my younger daughter is a projector. Projectors typically are known to be recognized by others for their gifts and talents. They're not forceful beings. They don't push themselves onto people. If they do that, they will face resistance. But the other thing about projectors is that they don't have access to life force energy as a generator. Now, as a generator and as a parent, I would often think that she's being lazy because she's not doing things in the way that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm not beating myself up for it, but we've had that open dialogue.
Yeah.
That I'm, really sorry because I didn't realize that you function differently to me. And this is the point, a lot of the training that's out there is focused on manifestors and generators. It's not looking at everybody as an individual. So if 70% of the population is being spoken to, what about the other people?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely helped me with my parenting. Of course, I've understood my friends better. And one of the major things about human design, I think, has been that it's really encourages people to lean into their intuition, right? Our minds are the most conditioned thing, and it's not a reliable way to make, decisions in life. And so it's bringing us back home. It's bringing us back to the way we're supposed to be doing things.
So it's a little bit of a soulful exercise, isn't it? It's not about what we've learned in life, or it's really the journey we're meant to be doing.
Absolutely.
Aye. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the feeling I got. It was like the exhaling feeling of relief. I know, I'll share something that you told me, for example, was about the fact that I am there when people see me, that I need to solve their problem. Like the moment they see me, I'm immediately a problem solver. And I couldn't understand in my life of why I felt almost like an entanglement or an attachment to every single person I met throughout life. And I had thought it's a karmic thing, but it turned out that it probably is, obviously, but it wasn't always on my end. It was also what they needed. And I needed to realize whether or not I can or can't respond to that. And that was so liberating, Marcia, for me, because I thought I had to actually really solve everyone's problem, because that was the point. And, to comprehend that just from a point of a birth date, and I forgot what else you asked me for, but, a couple of
birth,
birth
time. Yeah.
And it's powerful that, there's so much of that information, both from, how the planets were aligned, our chakra system, our organs, what is actually motivating us and getting us to move every day from a soulful perspective. Who do you recommend this for? Because you mentioned parents. Is this something, because, obviously this goes beyond the workplace and beyond just knowing myself as a performer in a way. As a mom, I was intrigued to do it, but who else,
To be honest, I feel everyone should do it, but obviously I'm very clear that I want to work with people who maybe are struggling or feel that they need some direction in life, or lacking meaning and purpose, or they just feel that something's not quite right. I would 100% recommend it. It could be that someone is launching a business and they're not quite sure if they're showing up in the way that's right for them. It could be even relationships. It could be anything. As you said, parenting. I would like.
That's another one. I actually thought to do it with my mom and my sisters. I don't know if they're on here, but I mentioned to them, I said, please, can we please all do this? Because it was so, I wanted to understand, every person, whether I, led them wrong or interacted with, what was the different soul purposes, and, worked with them. So I get that around family. But also I think it's revealing for our own life journey, isn't it? If I struggle, one of them is there. I'm here. Hi. I think she might be next, Marcia.
I mean, that's amazing. I think, as you've said, look, you've been on this earth for X amount of years, and that just understanding that this is how people see you was illuminating for you.
Completely. And I had actually struggled, and I'll open up a little bit here. I had, for those of you that don't know, I actually had brain surgery a couple of years ago now, behind us. And so a brain tumor was removed. And as part of the healing process, I ended up, hey, Rania, my other sister is there too. I ended up really struggling emotionally to heal. And I couldn't understand how I could be part of that, back to myself. And I didn't want to be, that person. But I realized that I was actually everyone else's problem solver. And I was like, and that became almost a burden versus a joy that I've taken on during that emotional struggle. And I didn't really know how to get out of that cycle. I became very, sad. And when you shared that with me, I was like, oh my God, that's actually not a thing that I wanted. And it was just how life is. And I think that's what's incredible, is when you realize it's just how life is. And it's almost, I could have accepted that on my own. I could have figured that out on my own, but I wasn't.
No.
And until I heard it and I saw that, and I've done, by the way, again, for those who don't know me, I've done quite a bit of work on myself. There's, 15 years of learning and being on a journey. And this is why I told Marcia, this was one of the most revealing, 2 points in my life. And, when it's my turn to maybe do an Insta Live, I can share a bit about that. But this was really one of them, where it was just revealing, truly cards being read from the universe as a gift. Yeah. Do we have any questions from anyone listening or watching? I don't know what you call it if you're on Instagram Live. Okay, well, let me ask you this, Marcia. Mm-hmm. We talked a lot about kind of inspiration and different parts of life. Who have been some role models in your life that you looked up to? I was listening this morning to Matthew McConnell. I always say his name wrong. But it's he talked about, 3 things he looks for in life. And one of them was his future. And his future was always himself, looking at himself 10 years later. Not from an arrogant perspective, but the way he wanted to improve himself. He wanted himself to grow. He wanted to be a betterment of himself. And I just thought it was such a rich role model type of experience. But as, I'm not like him in a way, and I just wondering, brought to my thought, like, what would be role models that you picked to help you in your all aspects, not just for human design, but in life, the struggles, the joys. It's been a life, as we know.
Honestly, my biggest role models have been my children, and I really believe that our children choose us. And I have 3 children. I'm a single mom, and it has been a struggle and a juggle. My children sadly lost their father 3 years ago, and their entire world crashed, just like that overnight. And I have watched my kids just embody and embrace life through the challenges. They have shown me 100% that circumstances don't define who we are. They have just made me so proud, really. The resilience is, I don't even have words. And they've shown me that you can make life anything you want it to be. It doesn't have to be. And I've struggled in this process because, of course, I felt guilt because I'm in Abu Dhabi and they are here, and all the limiting beliefs of where a mother should be with her children, and am I a bad mother, and all of the stuff, the normal stuff. But actually, my parenting is not defined by my location either. I can be an amazing parent from wherever I am, because these are the circumstances right now. And my children understand that, and they support me in that. And they know if I could be here permanently, I would be here permanently. And so they are like way high up on my role model list, to be honest. Yeah.
Deservingly so, isn't it? And children, we often forget about that. We look at, some other out there role models, but they really do. First, they're mirrors to us. They really show us some of the aspects of life of what we need to work on. They really hold it up high and in our face. But the other part is there is their journey of resilience and ability to transform how, like how they can really be the best versions of themselves and a reflection of us. So you should be super proud, Marcia.
I'm very, very proud. I'm very, very proud. And yeah, I've definitely sort of peeled away a lot of the beliefs that I once had. Yes, and I'm thankful to them, because without them, I would never have probably challenged a lot of those things. So as you said, they've definitely been mirrors for me, and they're all so different. So it's not even a case of why can't you be like your sister, or no, they all challenge me in different ways.
Absolutely. And Gloria says something. I think that is Gloria, right? Or says, a testament of the mother you are near and far. And I completely agree. I haven't met your children, but it's just the ability of how people speak of you about, because I met people that know your children and know you as a mother for a long, long time. And it's constant, a level of love and a level of support. What you guys have been through, and since you brought it up, is so tough. Across seas, away from family, and then you stood tall. And that's why, like, when you started the conversation and you said, "Oh, the confidence," and this is the part of I wish people know how much Marcia had gone through to even say that, because how would you even say that given the life that you've led and the beauty that you've shared and what you've given? And the confidence was really around, in my view, one angle, which is you stepping out into your wholeness, because you are such a beautiful human being and such a confident person. But I think in all of us, there are parts that we lack confidence in, and there are parts that we're strong in, and it shows. So we kind of are misunderstood in that way. Like, people will never look at you and say you lack confidence, ever. But you knew in that part of you, no matter how many conversations we've had or different people have had, it was this, when are you showing up, Marcia? You have such incredible beauty and strength. But until it's time.
Absolutely.
Till it's time.
You've encapsulated that so well, because one of the things in human design is that you understand your purpose and how you, the costume that you wear in life, you know, how you show up in life. And I'm known as what we call a investigator martyr, you know, and investigators typically won't step out of their comfort zone until they are 100% confident that they have a strong foundation. Okay.
Yes.
And so this makes sense why I'm always searching, I'm always studying, I'm always learning. But I have to have a balance, because if I don't stop myself, I will continually be learning, and I will not be sharing with the collective the gifts that I need to share, right? And so I've understood that my process, my unique process, is through trial and error. So I have to do the things messy action, just do it.
Yes.
In the doing that I will learn.
Yes.
What works and what doesn't, and then I will share with everybody what works and what doesn't, right? So that's given me confidence, knowing, well, actually, that's just how it is. You will never be at a point where you're so comfortable that you know everything. So
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what I love when you say, when you understand that from a human design and know that your lack of ability to move on is really a choice, because it's just how you're made, and you just keep going. It's almost like the definition of insanity, right? Like you keep in that same cycle. But it's so powerful to be able to understand that, step away from it. Let's go, okay, that's just me. I can actually also I need to do this and this and this to get away from this, or to enhance this, or accept it as it is and be okay with it. And that's, I think, the power of the human design experience that I personally had and that you're explaining here. So yeah, I mean, super great. Thank you, Marcia.
You're most welcome.
I would like to ask you one last thing as we wrap up. And is there anything you want to leave, this group of women and men and who's listening to us here with? Is there a message?
Yeah. I'm going to say that everybody owes it to themselves to unveil their brilliance. Okay. You're doing yourself and honestly the world who you are at the core, because we all have something. We all have something to give, something to share, something to make this world a better place. And whether that's human design or something else, but I would really encourage anyone to reflect and look in, and just ask yourself, am I showing up as the best version of myself?
Yeah, no, it's really powerful, Marcia. I love that. I love the unveil your brilliance part. I think I'm going to quote you on that.
Yeah.
And
actually,
it's
my masterclass that's coming up on the 4th of October.
Oh!
Yeah.
I love it. I really love it. Thank you for sharing it with us here. But I on so many levels on the soul journey, because I think when the human design explains that a little bit better, is that we should never be, stringent, cheap, hold back, because it's not only to us. Actually, it's to others that we're meant to give this message to. It's not only there's something that heals us when that happens, but also that being of service component, which I'm always about that bit. When you go of being of service towards that, and you're actually then sharing that gift with the world, and that is like the most healing thing we can do for ourselves and for others.
Absolutely. Oh,
love you so much.
love this.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, Marcia. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. This is, I think we're going to call them the Sophia Talks and Sophia Live Bites. They're just going to be quick, easy, getting to know the women who we celebrate, and the women who really make life and tough choices so they can bring their brilliance and share it with this world. So thank you, Marcia, for being the first one going on this journey with me as we practice together. And yes, and so nice to see everyone here that I know and I don't know. Thank you for coming. And we'll be posting this also for those that could not be here at that time. Thank you. See you soon. Take care. Bye. Bye.